And I can tell you an example. We had a patient in the ward. He was quiet but completely dissociated, schizophrenic. And he was in the clinic already for over 20 years. He had come into the clinic, as a matter of fact, being a young man, a little clerk, and did no particular education. And once I came into the ward, and he was obviously excited and called to me, took me by the lapel of my coat and led me to the window and said, "Doctor, now you will see."
Nah, I know you guys don't want to hear old German men. It took me to the war. Nobody wants to hear it. I know. But the voice of reason was tasked to do a topic. A lot of my topics are coming from young folk, particularly my niece, Attila Phillips, out of Houston, Texas. But I was talking to another young lady, even younger than Attila. And she hit me with a powerful question. And the question was, what is the purpose for relationships? She was like, why do we relate? And of course, all of the clinical thoughts run through your mind, all of the societal and familial thoughts, the psychological thoughts run through your mind. But for me, the spiritual thoughts started to come to the surface. For 3.5 years here on KBLA Talk 1580, the Voice of Reason has been talking about the spiritual purpose of relationships. Now, with the onslaught of technology and social media and platforms and all of this, people are using psychological terms. Not only do they misuse those terms, but also you don't even know the origin of those terms. And when we play the old dead white men who are the father of everything, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying, in academia, there's always that section of old dead white men, the father of this, the father of that, the father of this. But they were inspired by folk too. Tonight's topic, we're going to get into it. What is divine individuation? What? Is there such a thing? Well, of course. And I had to bring in one of my folks. I had to bring her back sooner than I thought I would, because this is one of them ones. Listen. Hey, these kids think relationships are about getting a bag together. They think relationships are about traveling, eating the best food, going to endless events. We did a topic earlier this week called Experience Vampires. I don't want you. I just want great experiences. Lord have mercy. So we have to get to the real purpose of what relationships are for. Now, Precious is back in the building. Come on! Our resident spiritualist.
I'll take it.
Listen, I feel like Smoke and Stack right now. Hey!
And I'm Annie.
Come on, Annie. Annie, get in here. What in the world? We've got to talk about it. I'm going to ask you directly. And I'm going to tell you what I told her, but I'm going to ask you first for your answer. What do you think the purpose of intimate relationships are actually about? What is it for?
You asking me?
I'm asking.
Well, all relationships, particularly intimate relationships, is so that we would come to know ourselves deeply. That's the intention, that's the purpose. But for most people, it's not the focus.
First off, for anybody who want to disrespect our Annie, KBLA's Annie.
I'll take it.
Anybody want to disrespect, come on. Tell them what that degree is in.
Okay, so I typically don't like to talk about these things. I have my bachelor's of science in psychology, and I am at the conclusion of my master's of science in psychology.
So that's off the table. We'll never have to mention it again. Because you know, folk funny style.
That's true.
Who's she to be talking about what we going through? Who? Okay, cool. That's who she is. And then that's the smallest.
It is the smallest.
When I tell you that little piece about her is equivalent to a gnat on the back of an elephant.
Appropriate.
Do you understand? Huh?
Appropriate.
So let's get deeper then. There's another aspect to Sister Precious. Listen, you don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who God going to send you down the road purposely to bump into.
Ashe.
Listen, she's a spiritualist.
Spiritual advisor.
But listen, unconventional.
Very much so.
Because you know, how you spiritual and going to be put in a box? That ain't spiritual.
Right.
This is an unboxed
spiritual
advisor. And when I tell you the advice be advising,
it gives.
So now that we've gotten who you are out of the way, all right, tell me, why do we seek to relate? Why do we want relationships? Or what is the main reason?
Well, there are, all of these are like mechanisms that are in place. You can speak about the psychology of it. But we need to relate because it's a soul thing, right? It's a part that God intended so that we remember that we belong to one another. So that's why it's such an extremely rare occurrence that you see people who have either never been in a relationship or do not relate. You know, there's some people who have escaped society altogether and they're hermits, if you will. But then there's a not so rare occurrence where you have people who never been in a relationship. This in psychology, and I don't want to keep going there, but it's considered maladaptive behavior, right? It means that you've not reached some milestone in your lifetime if you've never had any form of intimacy. It's considered a malignancy or something that needs to be worked on or healed.
Right. Right. Well, if healed means whole, that leads us back to individuation, where you integrate or merge your shadow with the persona, which is the mask. This is the perfected version of you that you project out so people can see that as you and not the whole you.
Yes.
So would you say that intimate relationships are designed to trigger us to go into this kind of dark night of the soul for the purpose of integration?
Yes. Now, here's the thing. It's not, when people hear intimate relationship, the first thing they think of is sex, right?
Sex and food and cuddling and
right.
Netflix.
But there are different there are different types of intimate relationships, like two best friends.
Right.
Right? And so at some point in your life, in intimacy, you will have some type of challenge to overcome.
Right.
And this essentially, by divine design, which is the most important, is a cause for you to turn inward, go inside, go deeper, as they say. Yeah. So, but most people think about fixing the partner or the outside experience versus the internal experience.
Right. Well, see, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most people kind of look at this inward journey as a type of isolation. I need my space. I need to move away. And I see it in the same light as the difference between detachment and non-attachment. Whereas detachment is a type of isolation and can be a little destructive. Non-attachment, on the other hand, is I'm still here, but I'm not attached to a particular outcome. I'm still present.
They call that a secure attachment, right? Yes. Yeah, that's the goal. I by default am an anxious attacher. So I've worked many years.
Come on, anxious. Come on, APs and that. Oh, it's not a crew. Sorry. My bad.
It might be. I don't know. But I've worked many years on balancing to be more secure in attachment and tapping into the art of allowance.
Right.
When that feeling of anxiousness comes up, knowing that this is the ego trying to block my opportunity to go deeper. That feeling of anxiousness, that's the ego. But Spirit allows us to receive it as anxiousness because it's like a, you're going the wrong way.
Right.
Go deeper. So
Right.
whenever I have those feelings, I know that's my cue to go inward.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And inward, like I said, is not isolation. It's more observation.
Yeah, sometimes it needs to be isolation if you can't do
Regulate.
the isolation
Yes,
in the
yes.
presence of other people.
Right.
But it's like a lower level of energy.
Yes.
Right? And so if you continue to work, you won't have to be isolated in order to tap into yourself, to spirit, to your higher consciousness.
Because people out here doing relationship wrong. That's
Many
not a
of us.
judgment,
Yeah.
but it's an observation. It's me saying, you don't know why you guys are together. That's a difficult question to field, right? Why are you guys together? Why him? Why her?
It's a great question, though.
Right? It's a great
Yeah.
question, but it's often not asked.
Right?
So now the question becomes, why aren't we asking why this person?
Well, if you think the wrong things are right, you're going to do the wrong things on purpose. And so people are socialized to finger point, blame,
Compare,
and
yeah.
compare.
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
But even that's not bad, because if you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you will find your way, accidentally even, into the point of healing.
So you're going to get this work regardless of what you do is what you're saying.
If not this lifetime, the next.
Ooh, somebody said she going to come back. So earth is hell.
Essentially,
A hospital for the soul.
it is.
Oh, Lord. When
Relationships are a hospital for the soul.
That's what we own.
Yeah.
Why do we get it twisted? Why do we get so caught up in the pleasantries and the events and let's go to the Hollywood Bowl, let's travel?
It's fun. Now,
it's fun, but
so here's the reason. So like when you can essentially look at a person and feel high. Like when I look at my grandson, that kid makes me high, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he's a baby.
Yes.
So I can only relate to him in a certain way. Now, when you're looking at someone who is in your peer group or in your field of relationships and you get that feeling, you can become addicted to that. And you want to experience that high and that joy. And that is good, but it's not the best thing about relationship.
okay, hold there. Hold right there. Lord have mercy.
Uh-oh.
She's cooking with the rarest grease, man. Hey, get to your phone lines. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, Zoe and Precious going toe-to-toe.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of Black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling Black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic Black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandlost.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Because once you feel safe, you won't feel in danger. Thus, you won't have the same fears that you had previously. Does that make sense? And I want you to come back in the moment, right? And acknowledge what we do when I teach Resolve is we acknowledge the inner little girl, and we acknowledge the emotions that she's having. That it's okay that you're afraid. I understand why you are afraid, but that danger no longer exists, and I'm here to protect you. So first we acknowledge. We don't say, oh, there's nothing to be scared of. No, she had a reason to be afraid, and she's still afraid. So we want to sympathize with her, right? And then we want to walk her into the present moment with us. Tell us what you're afraid of. What do you fear will happen? Because then it becomes your job as her protector to prevent those things from happening or to remove the sting. If you say, oh, well, I'm afraid they won't like me. And if they don't like me, they won't invite me back again. And then it's your job to let her know.
Andy, you got to tell me, who is that young lady? Jennifer Arnice, respectfully, I disagree, and I think I have the right to disagree as a human being with another opinion. It doesn't mean you're wrong, I want to add some perspective. If you always need a protector, are you a codependent? Is safety an inside job?
Absolutely.
Or an outside. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sometimes language uses us. We think we're using language, but language is using us. Now, that isn't to say that a person's fears aren't warranted in the moment, that they are sensing uncomfort or anxiety. And yes, they need to be heard and listened to and understood, but they should always be pointed back to where you said earlier?
Inside.
Inwardly.
You got to go inward.
Come on. Tonight's topic: what is divine individuation? What distinguishes the Jungian concept of individuation from ancient Eastern and African concepts such as moksha, nirvana, self-realization, Christ consciousness, samadhi, satori, or even ori? Is there a historical connection or origin story behind Carl Jung's psychological integration concept of the shadow and the mask? Who inspired Carl Jung? Well, I'm just going to tell you like this. It's an old fire with a new name. Mm-hmm. Now, I need you to listen, but not with your ears that defend your biography, your story, but with the older drums beneath your ribs, the place your grandmother called prayer, and your therapist calls regulation. What you have been taught to call individuation is not an invention, it is a remembering. The word is modern, the work is primordial. Jung did not build a temple in the 20th century. He found a buried doorway, brushed with the dust from its lintel, and dared the mechanized West to walk through. He called the threshold the self, and the gatekeeper the shadow, and the path a transcendent function, language carefully hewn so a scientific mind could approach mystery without flinching. But step under the arch and the air changes. We are suddenly in older precincts, Kemet's court, where as above, so below was first whispered. Greece's Eleusis, where the grain died to rise again. The forest shrines of Ifa, where Orunmila names your pattern, and Ori, your inner head, right, keeps the master copy of your becoming. Listen, intimate relationships is about discovering this sacred temple within your own spirit. Ultimately, we done got caught up on the activities, on the fun. The world done got hella fun since Old Towns done showed up. It done got hella fun. We've missed the purpose. Listen, when we come forward, we got callers and we got Precious. We got to talk about this. Let's get it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. 2 people are dead and 1 is critically injured after a shooting at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility. Black Mayor Eric Johnson called for prayers as officials confirmed gunman 29-year-old Joshua John died from a self-inflicted wound.
We're a country and a city that needs prayer.
The FBI is investigating it as targeted violence. Former Vice President Kamala Harris is in New York tonight, kicking off a 15-city tour for her new memoir, 107 Days. The book recounts her brief 2024 presidential run, blasting Joe Biden's re-election bid as a reckless mistake. And Black singer David says his anime alter ego inspired his hit Romantic Homicide. Fans linked the video's ghostly woman to Celeste Rivas, later found dead in his car, but police say there's no evidence connecting him to her murder. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The Los Angeles Public Library offers free services for the whole family. With a library card, you can borrow movies and books for free. Visit lapl.org. That's lapl.org.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready?
Drop it! Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Yo, it's Zoe Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
When I think of energy, I think of how I feel when I enter a room and certain people are in it. It's like, does it feel inviting? Does it feel welcoming? Are they friendly? Like, you know, is their energy just good, or does it feel like dangerous or scary or that kind of thing? Is that, I know that's not the end all, like the full explanation of it. How would you explain energy and how it like shows up day to day in our life, like how we can pinpoint, oh, that's it, that's something energetic, like since it's all energy, right? Like how do we make sense of it?
So,
or maybe we're not making sense of it because like,
well, that's one thing we can't try to make, you know, science is doing a good job of explaining certain phenomena, but we can't, there's just certain spiritual tools that's like, why even try to solve it with a logical mind. However, to try and talk about it in a way that's not, because I don't like to regurgitate anything. There's so much out there. But yes, energy is everywhere. Energy is everything. And the thing about it is, I realize, like, when I'm sharing these different practices for energy alchemy and stuff like that, the main thing is you have to learn to get out of your own way. So we have different layers on our body. We have, you know, the physical body. There's an energetic layer. There's a wisdom layer. There's so many different layers that we're not just this human walking around. Even our auric field is extending apart arm's length in all directions around us. So we have the capacity to really fill up a room. In fact, when you're going into the room.
So who was that, Andy? You know, you got to tell me now, because I'm interested. Serpent Goddess Dusa.
That's deep.
That's heavy. But hold on, because some of this stuff be sounding woo. You know, the energy and the frequencies and the vibration. Hold on. A clinician might call that being able to regulate. Just being able to regulate. Regulate your emotions around people that make you feel anxious or uncomfortable or uncertain, whatever. But the whole spookism, the wording again, what is it exactly? Are we like a spirit antenna that can pick up on the frequencies and vibrations of maybe negative people? And if that's the case, how do narcissists trick us?
Well, first of all, I like the idea of antenna because it's extending outward to reach.
Yes.
But I try to be a vessel.
Oh, well, talk to me.
That can be emptied and filled, right? And so first, let me clear something up here. We're not supposed to be living life doing damage control like that.
Come on. That sounds like hypervigilance to me.
Right, because a part of it is to be a little messed up. The soul does not journey into existence for being pristine. That's why perfection is unattainable. Perfection only exists one place in the universe.
God.
The dictionary. God is the universe. I said in the universe.
Okay,
right?
come on, correct me.
Excellence is attainable. Excellence is attainable. But in that, even science, okay, fellow human studying behavior, human behavior, in order for something to be scientific, it has to have the ability to be disproven.
Yes, refutable.
Yes.
And replicable.
Yes.
Yes.
So if it can be proven wrong for the purpose of expansion,
right,
so can you. So it's okay to mess up and have trauma. Don't over-identify with it. That's where the ego is taken over.
Listen, that person hurt me, and listen, I'm going to be mad at them forever. I'm going to use that anger as fuel to do better with the hope that maybe one day they'll see that I'm better without. Come on, you know what this is.
That's lower. It's lower. Higher is thank you for the pain. You're my master teacher.
Thank you.
And you are also, we're in the world's lab, so you are my tools for experiment. And it's not like diminishing a person to experimentation. However, I'm going to use what you've given me, the pain, the love, the everything, and I'm going to internalize and do my work, not internalize and get stuck. So yes, antenna, but when you go higher, you become a vessel. And so you have that opportunity to be filled with both energy from your external environment and energy from the divine.
So you're blowing my mind right now. So what has just come to me as you're talking? The University of You,
boom,
which is relationship,
bam,
is the only university you don't go to get curriculum. You go to with curriculum already inside of you. By going to the University of You, which is relationships, the curriculum that you carry in you, which was probably planted in you by your parentage, your lineage,
your socialization,
gets triggered. And that's when you start doing the work at school.
Thank God.
Oh, but nobody wants to do it because it hurts.
It's painful. And like those things that people get into relationship for, it feels good. You know, I'm looking at you. You look good to me. You feel good to me. You smell good to me. But it's really the most triggering parts about you that are assisting me in expansion.
But that is also giving me the excuse to cut this mess off. Ooh, yeah, a lot of people ain't ready for school. They can drop a class now.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Cutting off. But if you haven't properly addressed the energy, you're going to find that same pattern in a new person. So you can cut a person off. But if you're in the next relationship and your story is, all women are users, all men are liars, all whatever, you're getting that unlearned lesson in different people. You know you've evolved when you stop experiencing that thing that you're working on in relationship. And it could be with the same person or a new person. You have a new experience.
Listen, I've been in this game long enough to know people don't like having their wounds cracked open by a messenger of God. You think that person who broke your heart isn't a messenger of God.
Yeah.
But in fact, they are.
Yeah.
And people don't like accepting that. They don't like dealing with that. They don't like processing that. They need a villain and they need an escape route, so that they don't have to take any accountability for every time they ignored their intuition, they marginalized their own voice, they made themselves small, like all these little actions that you did, right? Oh, Lord, when we come forward, we're going to keep cooking. And if you want to call in, I'm going to get to my brother John from Mountain View. I see him. I'm going to get you, John. If you want to call in, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The VOR is on complete fire tonight.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least likely to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate, with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless, for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the smooth sounds of the VOR on KBLA Talk 1580. I'll be your guide into the depths of your shadow. The voice of reason. I love to curate difficult conversations about relationships. You know, the topics you don't want to talk about. Those you repress. I'm up in here with my girl Precious, spiritual advisor extraordinaire. She's in here cooking with the rarest grease. Hey, I love the smooth vibe up in here. The voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. We acting a fool. Tonight's topic, we're in here roasting Carl Jung. Well, kind of. Kind of roasting him. We know he didn't make this stuff up. Hell, the man sat at the foot of Krishnamurti. I know he got that something from Krishnamurti. Come on now. Listen, we're in here cooking because we're talking about the origin of individuation, and is there such a thing as divine individuation? Instead of integrating just your shadow, which is the subconscious, the repressed, the pain, the hurt, the darkness, whatever.
The necessary.
Right? The necessary. Could the shadow be a conduit to divine integration, which is oneness with source?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Hindu, moksha, the Buddhist, nirvana, they all talked about these higher states of consciousness. The Christian, Christ consciousness, Paramahansa Yogananda talked about. And I'm saying, if these relationships that we enter into are mirrors of the work we refuse to do.
For sure.
And then the clinician comes along and goes, you know, these insecure attached folk are attracted to each other. They sense something in the other person that they feel they don't have, and that person senses something in them that they feel that they don't. The avoidant, anxious trap is what many of them have called it. So now the question becomes, is intimate relationship a conduit to union or integration with God? Your thoughts?
Yes. Yes, it's not the only way, but as my mother says, all roads lead to God.
Come on. Yeah. What? Come on, mama. Mama said all
Got
roads.
Got it from my mama.
Listen. God GPS, all roads lead to me.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I love it. I
yeah.
love it. That's heavy. Jung's courage was to translate the grammar without amputating the soul. In Liber Novus, he descends, no white coat, no clinical lighting, into imaginal depths the ancients navigated before him with ritual and myth, right? So the West African would say, it's your ori. Your ori is envisioned as this divine umbilical cord that connects you to source. This is why many practitioners of Ifa would say, oh, no, you guys paying too much attention to the Orisha. The most powerful Orisha is the Ori, which is the root word of the word Orisha. You have to deal with your Ori, then reconvene with the Orisha, right? Orisha, angel, Netaru.
Crown chakra.
What, do you see? Yeah. Yes. So my question is, should we start looking at relationships from that perspective? Let me see how this is going to trigger me, self-observation. Let me not worry about how they're going to show up and what they're going to do for me and I deserve and all this. Let me see how this person triggers my curriculum so that I can transcend ego. Talk to me.
Yeah, I would recommend, or I would advise, to stay focused on your intention for life, what your focus with your divine purpose is. And as feelings arise, be willing to examine them and do the work versus being hyper vigilant and looking outward for something to happen. Tune inward. Tune in. If you don't go within, you will go without. When those feelings rise, whether they be joy or pain or indifference, be willing to investigate them, right? Because if you have two people who are evolved and awakened and enlightened, they will still trigger one another.
Of course.
Yeah. And when I see people say, oh, we've been together 25 years and we've never argued. Yeah, well, you agree with everything that the other person is saying.
And y'all got 2, 3, 4 different lives.
Hello.
There's some secret lives.
Yes.
If y'all never argue, there's some secret lives going on. Lord have mercy. Let me get this brother in here. My brother, your brother, from across the whole Pacific Ocean. And Lord, he is smack dab in the middle of the ocean, man. My brother, John from Mountain View, Hawaii. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Greetings and blessings, honored guest. Greetings and blessings, chat, and master teacher. Continue to give us this fire that we definitely need. But if I could have your viewpoint on something that has triggered me, yet at the same time revealed to me failed spots in my armor.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
As a person who stands on this square, not realizing that I have failed myself while standing on it, reviewing the process of life and the things that we go through, case in point, again, standing on your square, being the person that you need to be in the relationship you once had, and also trying to recontextualize or just get a better understanding, that investigation of how I failed and how I could make it better.
Well,
I failed at the point of viewing myself while standing on my square.
Okay. Well, let's go even deeper.
I eliminated my voice to get there.
Wait, hold on. I hear that. That's heavy. We're gonna unpack that. But let's first unpack failed.
Ego.
Did you fail or did you learn?
I'm learning due to the fact that there's the revisitation.
Okay.
It's almost like being in the movie Tenet.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the bullets are coming out of the wall is becoming whole.
Right. So there's an event at the cigar lounge that they call Burn and Learn, where they burn cigars while they learn. Let's just borrow that for your situation. It's not failure. It's burning. It's burning. It has to burn something in order for you to learn. If you take the L off of learn, what do you have?
Earn.
You've got to burn in order to earn, in order to learn. It must happen. Do you understand? So you didn't fail. You just didn't get the outcome you wanted in that moment. That doesn't mean the outcome is still out of reach. Go ahead.
Let me jump in here. The point is to have observation of how you're showing up versus labeling it. You only fail when you don't try again. And even when you observe that there has been some misgiving in your behavior, how you show up, it doesn't mean that you're unworthy. In fact, you're still in your purpose. The fact that you are able to see yourself, that is truly the point. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't mean that you have everything right when you give it another try. Mm-hmm. You just have to be willing to see yourself to a point to where when that part of yourself is showing back up, you recognize it and have some humility around it and operate in faith. Faith comes without seeing. Faith enough that the spirit that governs you, not just the spirit within, but the spirit that governs you, the spirit that is your ancestral team, the spirit that is your angelic guides, the spirit of your spirit team will assist you in ordering your steps. All you have to do is be willing to see yourself. It gets greater later.
See yourself without judgment. Stay right there. Don't go no. John is on fire. Precious is on fire. The voice of reason is on fire. Hey, somebody give me a fire extinguisher, man.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. 2 people are dead and 1 is critically injured after a shooting at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility. Black Mayor Eric Johnson called for prayers as